What up, y'all? You're listening to Sports Talk with Tropp, and I'm your host, Katie Tropp. Well, the Boston choke party has been on this week. Oh, my God. As a Lakers fan, I am so enjoying what the Boston Celtics have been putting out there so far in the playoffs. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to act like the series is over, but this Boston choke party is for real, y'all. There are 2 games this week that Boston blew 20-point leads, and it was just an epic collapse, too, in both games, especially the second game. So let's get right into this series between the Knicks and the Celtics. So let's talk about the first game we had on Monday night. The Knicks walked away with an overtime win, 108-105. And, you know, I almost changed the channel. That's how bad this game was to begin with, because I was like, what are the Knicks putting out here? They could not make a shot. They weren't playing defense. It just looked bad. But then all of a sudden, the second half hits, and they start putting it together. They start getting closer. They start knocking down shots, but they're also playing excellent defense. But straight up, man, you are down 20 points, and if you're the Celtics, you're up 20 points, and the Celtics straight up were choking. I mean, they were missing shots down the stretch, and yes, the Knicks were playing good defense, absolutely. But the Celtics, they were just missing shots they should not miss. So then they head into overtime, and, Brunson, he didn't have, like, a blow-you-out-of-the-water game, but he was making the shots, especially down the stretch that you needed to make, especially in overtime. Brunson ended up with 29 points. OG Anunoby ended up with 29 points. But the dude who made the biggest plays at the end of the game, Mikal Bridges, dude came up with the biggest steal in overtime to seal the motherfucking deal for the Knicks. Game 2, Wednesday night. Knicks get the win 91-90. Once again, this team is down by 20, and this game looked even worse than the previous game. I'm thinking to myself, there is no way the Knicks are coming back in this one. I still watched it because I'm like, they did come back down from 20 the other night, so let's keep on watching. Let's see what happens here. And they did exactly the same thing. They just started to put it together down the stretch, just started to make the big freaking plays. And guess who made the biggest play of all yet again? Mikal Bridges comes up with a huge block on Jason freaking Tatum, nonetheless. And if you see the not the slow motion, but the actual just screenshot of him blocking it, it's crazy to see what Mikal Bridges has done down the stretch in both of these games. He has been a huge factor, obviously making the big plays, but just in the fourth quarter and overtime of both of those games, he really stepped it up. Brunson's been stepping it up, and the Knicks have been doing everything they have to win. Game 3 is Saturday night in New York. The Knicks are up 2-0. 2-0. You got to win this one, Knicks. I did not expect them to do what they're doing right now. I did pick the Celtics in this one simply because I trusted them more than I trust the Knicks. And don't get me wrong, if there's a team that can come back down 2-0, it's going to be the Boston Celtics, because they are built like a championship team. They are a good team, but it's kind of funny that they blew these 20-point leads, because that was the one thing I could say about the Celtics that was their weakness all season long, is they were a really top-tier, top-level team. But their weakness is they blew big-ass leads, and this is not the first time they've done that. So, like I said, the Knicks are up 2-0 right now. And we'll see what the Knicks got for us. Maybe they'll give us a sweep. It would be nice if they would, but the Celtics are way too damn good for me to even say they're going to get a sweep. As a matter of fact, I would not be shocked if after the weekend we're talking about, the Celtics playing a really solid game in Game 3. But who knows, man? Who knows? It's just been an excellent series, especially from Brunson and Bridges and this New York Knicks team. Hopefully they don't choke, because that would also be so New York Knicks. Moving on to the Denver Nuggets versus Oklahoma City Thunder series. In a shocking turn of events on Monday night, the Denver Nuggets stole Game 1 from the Oklahoma City Thunder, 121-19. Nikola Jokic probably had one of his greatest games of all time, and that says a lot. Now, he did not, shockingly, have a triple-double. He only had a double-double. He came close to a triple-double, but it was a monster double-double with 42 points, 22 rebounds, and 6 assists. But the big dude was once again Aaron Gordon. He came up with a game-winning three-pointer. 22 points to end up his stat line at the game was 22 points and 14 rebounds, but also that game-winning three. But Aaron Gordon has been stepping it up. And Oklahoma City actually did basically kind of the same thing that that the Celtics did against the Knicks. And they were up pretty solid against against Denver at one point in this game, but Denver just came back right back out of the gate and just really kept it close, and then ended up getting the win in Game 1. But Game 2 on Wednesday night was a completely different story. It was an absolute train wreck for the Nuggets. It was probably one of the worst games you will ever see them play completely. I mean, the entire team looked terrible. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, on the other hand, looked fantastic. They got the win 149-106. Yeah, that's what kind of showing that was from the Nuggets. But Oklahoma City just trucked them. SGA ended up with 34 points on the night, and it was just, they dominated in every way you possibly could. It wasn't just that the Nuggets played terribly. It was also Oklahoma City was knocking down all the shots, playing fantastic in the paint, getting all the rebounds offensively, defensively. Just a great game from Oklahoma City and just a terrible game from the Nuggets. Game 3 is going to be tonight, Friday night, in Denver. Right now they are tied at 1 in this series, so we'll see where we are on Monday, after the weekend, and see if we're still tied up or if somebody gets a leg up on the other one. Then turning to the Indiana Pacers versus Cleveland Cavaliers series, also very, very surprising series from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Indiana stole Game 2. Cleveland also choked pretty hard, but Indiana, they made the plays when they had to down the stretch and got the win, 120-119. At one point in this game, the Indiana Pacers were down 20, and Cleveland looked like they were rolling, but Indiana just kept at it. And then Cleveland just started missing shots, and Indiana, they played fantastic team basketball. If there's one team left in the playoffs, I think the team that plays the best overall straight-up team basketball are the Indiana Pacers. I mean, it kind of feels like when they get these wins, every person in their starting five has double-digit numbers. And they just dominate the paint, and they just play well, and then they make the big plays when they need to. And Halliburton made the plays when he needed to. He wasn't blowing anybody out of the water in Game 2. He actually ended up with 19 points and 9 rebounds, so that's not a crazy game. It's a good game. But he did have the game-winning 3, and it was a crazy sequence of events as well for him to get this game-winning 3. So he is at the free throw line. He knocks down free throw number 1, but he misses free throw number 2. And as he gets the rebound, and so he just runs back behind the three-point line, boom, game fucking winner, and just steals this one from Cleveland. Now, Cleveland absolutely choked 100%, but I did not think I was going to be saying headed into Game 3, Friday night, the Indiana Pacers are up 2-0 on the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. So we'll see where we're at after this weekend with this one. But the Indiana Pacers are playing some excellent team basketball and really are taking it to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were one of the top teams all season long. And then the last series we're going to talk about is the Golden State Warriors versus the Minnesota Timberwolves series. Now, this has been marred by injuries in both games. Tuesday night, the Golden State Warriors actually just really dominated Game 1, 99-88. They pretty much had the lead the whole way through, and which was very shocking because Steph Curry, unfortunately, was injured in, I believe, the second quarter. And so he pretty much missed the rest of the game. As a matter of fact, he is going to probably miss the rest of the series in this one, unless it potentially gets to a game 6 or 7. We don't know. I'm not going to count on him. As a matter of fact, I would say they're probably going to keep Steph out in hopes that they're going to make it to the Western Conference Finals, because you're going to really want him to be healthy for that. And you do have a very solid core here with the Warriors, even without Steph, especially in this game. Draymond Green, I don't know what's been going on with this dude, but he has been stepping it up this entire postseason run. He has been a factor in every single game. He had 18 points in this one, but he also just made some huge defensive plays throughout. Jimmy Butler had 20 points. Buddy Hield had 24 points. So this was an excellent team game overall from the Golden State Warriors, and not a really good game from the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then last night, Thursday night, in game 2, the Timberwolves dominated this one 117-93. Now, the unfortunate news in this one is Anthony Edwards. He missed the end of the first half with a sprained ankle, and it looked like it was going to be pretty bad, but he did end up coming back, and he didn't play the entire second half, but when he was in there, he was a factor and played a great game, ended up with 20 points, but it was really Julius Randle who had the killer game. He had 24 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds in this one. Made some huge plays defensively as well. And I got to say, Julius Randle has also stepped it up just like Draymond Green, where he has been a huge factor, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but offensively as well, and in the paint, getting the rebounds, doing the dirty work when you have to. So Julius Randle, I kind of feel like is this just that secret guy nobody's really talking about. He's not really standing out, but he is really making some huge plays for the Timberwolves in this postseason. Game 3 is going to be Saturday night. This one is tied up at 1, so we'll see where we're at on Monday with this series. Turning to baseball and what happened in this week of baseball. On Monday night, the Atlanta Braves dominated the Cincinnati Reds 4-0, but it really wasn't that the Braves won. It's that they have another up-and-coming pitcher who looks pretty damn good. I kind of feel like this is a theme with the Braves over the last, 5-6 years. It feels like they bring up this new young cat, and he just takes over and is really solid. And this year it is a guy by the name of Smith Shaver. He had a fantastic game. He had a no-hitter going into the 8th inning until it was broken up, but still a very solid outing from a dude we haven't heard of, but they definitely could use him. And once again, the Atlanta Braves have a solid pitcher who looks like he could potentially end up being an ace when it's all said and done if he keeps pitching like that. Then on Tuesday, this week, there's been a great series between the New York Yankees and the San Diego Padres. And on Tuesday, there was a crazy game between the two of them. The Yankees busted out in the 7th inning to win 12-3, but they had 10 runs in the 7th inning, capped off with a Wells grand slam. He ended up with 5 runs on the night. Aaron Judge had a home run as well. And it was just straight. It was actually a very close game up until that 10-run 7th inning. But the Yankees really just busted it out. Then also on Tuesday, another team that busted it out as well was my San Francisco Giants, obliterating the Chicago Cubs, which says a lot because the Cubs are the best offensive team in the league, hands down. But the Giants were able to get the better of them 14-5. And not only did they score 14 runs, but guess what? 9 of those runs came in the 11th inning. Yeah, that's right. It went into extra innings. That's how close this game was. But then the 11th inning, that's when the Giants were like, okay, let's just go ahead and score a bunch of runs. And they scored 9 runs in the 11th inning. Ramos went 4 for 5 with 2 RBI. Lee went 3 for 6 with a home run and 3 RBI. And Chapman also went 3 for 5 with 2 RBI himself. Then on Wednesday, talking about that Yankees-Padres matchup again, this one also went into extra innings. This went 10 innings. The Yankees got the win 4-3. Escarra had the sacrifice fly, but this was a great pitching matchup until they took the starters out. Dylan Cease for the Padres and Fried, of course, for the Yankees, who's just having a phenomenal year. Both of them. It was just boom, boom, strikeout. They were both just killing it all the way until they were both taken out, and then that's when everything really busted open for the rest of the teams. And then just finally, Escarra was able to just get the sacrifice fly in, and the Yankees were able to not only get that win, but take the series as well. And then last night, the Arizona Diamondbacks do what they do. They know the Dodgers pretty damn well. And they're always that team that just kind of sneaks in and beats the Dodgers when you least expect it, and that's what they did last night. They got the win 5-3 over the Dodgers. And Moreno, he had a grand slam. As a matter of fact, it was just all Diamondbacks all night. I mean, the Dodgers weren't really able to get anything going until, I believe, the 8th or the 9th inning. Ohtani ended up getting a home run. Ohtani's actually been hot. He had that cold streak there for a minute, and now that's gone. It didn't last long at all. As a matter of fact, I think it lasted like 10 days, and then boom. Ohtani is back to being Ohtani. But he was not able to get them the win last night. Arizona was able to hang on and get the win 5-3. All right, so moving on to this week's list. Since I did the greatest Michael Jordan playoff moments last week, and I started talking about Larry Bird and how blown away he was in that one game where Michael Jordan went off for 63 points, even though they lost to the Celtics in that one. But Larry Bird was giving him high praise. I was like, you know what? Why don't I not only keep this NBA player playoff theme going, because we are in the NBA playoffs, but why don't I keep talking about old players who we don't really discuss anymore? Because there are just some great ones out there. And you know what? Let's go ahead and do the Tropp 5 Larry Bird playoff moments. Because Larry Bird, if you do not know, one of the greatest to ever do it. And this is coming from a Lakers fan, by the way. So a Lakers fan giving high praise to a Boston Celtic, that just goes to show you how great Larry Bird was. Larry Bird had a ton of amazing moments throughout his career, not just in the playoffs, just his entire career overall. One of the most dominating, could score anywhere on the court. One of the first triple-double kings, after Oscar Robertson, of course. But, he just was a fantastic shooter. He would get in the paint. He was a great passer. Larry Bird, one of the most all-around fantastic basketball players that the league has ever seen. So I decided, let's go ahead and take care of him this week, because I haven't really discussed Larry Bird a lot. I mean, he's been brought up on the show, but I've never done an in-depth on him. So let's go ahead and do an in-depth here on Larry Bird and the Tropp 5 Larry Bird playoff moments, beginning with number 5. In the 1988 Game 7 conference semifinals versus the Atlanta Hawks. This was a battle for the ages. This was Dominique Wilkins versus Larry Bird, and it was literally shot for shot, Bird, Neek. Bird, Neek. It was like every single play. It was basically just the two of them on the court. Dominique ended up with 47 points. Larry Bird ended up with 34 points. But the Boston Celtics ended up with the close win, 118 to 116. But what's just so great about this moment is it's just a battle between two of the greatest players at that time. And when you do see those matchups, especially in the playoffs, where it's just one great player is like, no, my team is going to win because of me. No, my team is going to win because of me. And it comes down to that very end there. 118 to 116. I mean, that just goes to show you it just came literally down to the wire. And Larry Bird and his Celtics were just able to pull it out over Dominique Wilkins and his Atlanta Hawks. Number 4 on my Tropp 5 Larry Bird playoff moments, the 1991 Game 5 first round playoffs versus the Indiana Pacers. Now, this was a crazy game. Because Indiana was absolutely obliterating the Celtics to start. And at this game really actually shows you what Larry Bird was as a player. So, in the first half of this game, he lands face first on the court. He says he hit his face so hard he actually thought he broke his jaw when he was headed back to the locker room. And the silence that took over the Boston Celtics arena at the time was like, oh, shit, we just lost Larry. It looked bad. So, and even Reggie Miller, the great Reggie Miller, he was playing for the Indiana Pacers at this time. He said, oh, shit, we are about to beat the Boston Celtics in Boston. We have no Larry Bird playing. This is fantastic for us. But then he says he sees him coming out in the second half. And that's when he's like, oh, God damn it. Here comes Larry Bird. So Larry Bird comes back. At the time, the Celtics are down by 3. And Larry Bird is like, okay, you know what? I just got to take over. Fuck that my face is in so much pain right now. I just got to do it. And not only did the Celtics get the win, 124 to 121, but the stat line of Larry Bird. Larry Bird had 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Just barely missed out on a triple-double there. But that is the epitome of Larry Bird. Dude smashes his face into the court, comes right back out, dominates, and takes his team to the next round. Then at number 3 on my Tropp 5 Larry Bird playoff moments, 1987 Game 5 Conference Finals versus the Detroit Pistons. Now, if you don't know, these Pistons-Celtics matchups were beautiful. This is epic basketball, especially because you can't see games like this anymore. I mean, the Celtics and the Pistons used to, literally beat the shit out of each other. They were so violent. I mean, both of these teams played violent basketball, but when you got the two of them together, it was like a Mike Tyson fight, basically. It was nuts. But this is what we call one of the greatest Larry legend moments you are ever going to know. It is called the interception. So, in this moment, there's not a lot of time left on the clock. I think a couple of seconds are left on the clock at this point. The Detroit Pistons, they're inbounding the ball. They have a 1-point lead over the Boston Celtics. All they have to do is get the ball, and chances are the Celtics are going to foul them. They just got to knock down the free throws, and boom, we're going home with the win. Not against Larry Bird. Now, it's awesome to hear him break down what he felt about this play, because the play he was originally doing is not what ended up happening. He was actually going in to make the foul, but what happened was he ended up intercepting the ball. He intercepts the ball right in front of Lambeer, is able to not only have enough awareness to get this ball back in bounds, because he's fallen out of bounds. This is 1 second on the freaking clock now at this point. Boom. He snaps it. He gets it to his dude, Dennis Johnson, under the rim, who gets the game-winning rebound for the Boston Celtics. 108-107. Larry fucking legend. I mean, this is a play. If you go and look up the Larry Bird highlights, this is one of them. I mean, it's one of the most insane plays. You're like, whoa. And then when he when he breaks it down, how that wasn't even what he was doing, but that's what happened. It's just beautiful when shit like that happens. It just goes to show you some dudes are just meant to play basketball. Larry Bird just meant to play basketball. Then at number 2 on my top 5 Larry Bird playoff moments, 1981 Game 1 NBA Finals versus the Houston Rockets. This one's called the putback. This is another amazing, phenomenal Larry Bird move. Even his coach. His coach was like, this is probably the greatest play I think I have ever seen in my entire life. And Red Auerbach, who was the coach at this time, literally had legends from day one that Bill Russell. He's who brought Bill Russell into the league, for Christ's sake. So he knows basketball. He's seen a lot of basketball. He's won a lot of championships. And in this game, Larry Bird did the craziest thing where he gets his own rebound and then gets basically the game-winning shot. It's not as crazy as the one I was talking about where there was like 1 second left on the clock. But basically, he missed his shot, just runs in there, grabs the rebound, and just puts it back. And so quick, so Larry Bird. He almost had a triple-double in this one as well. 18 points, 21 rebounds, 9 assists, and Boston got the win, 98-95. But if you go and look at this play too, both the interception, the putback, there's a few other ones as well from the regular season, but Larry Bird has these moments where you're like, it's one play, but it's just this one insane, improbable, phenomenal play, and you're just like, whoa, he really fucking did that. But number 1 on my top 5 Larry Bird playoff moments is 1986 Game 6 NBA Finals versus the Houston Rockets. Now, I personally was almost going to put either the putback or interception at number 1 until I read an interview about him in this specific game. He personally feels like this is the greatest basketball he ever played in his life. And so when the person who did this says to me, this was my greatest moment, I got to agree with them because they were the one who was in the moment. So in this game, Larry Bird was just on. He had a fantastic, phenomenal game. He had 29 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, so that was a triple-double, and ended up winning MVP of the NBA Finals because they did win this game, 114-97. It was just straight-up domination by not only Larry Bird, but the Boston Celtics in general. But in this game, like, he just couldn't miss. And that's what he even said. He was like, I just couldn't miss. It felt like I was at the pinnacle of my career. I was playing the greatest basketball I ever could. I couldn't. The entire season, he said, was a really fantastic season. But just in general, this one game in particular actually made him contemplate retirement. Because he actually said to himself, well, if I'm playing at peak position right now, why not go out on top? Because this also was the NBA record-setting 16th NBA championship for the Boston Celtics overall. So it was just a record-setting moment. It was a big moment for Larry Bird, for himself, of course, because he had already won a few championships. So here's another one. And like I said, he just felt like he was playing the greatest basketball he ever could. And he's like, well, since I've accomplished everything, since I've done everything, do I actually want to quit and just go out on top? Now, of course, he did not do that. And I say thankfully, because, I mean, it's nice we got a few more years of him. But it is crazy to also think that he's like, and he even says to this day, I probably should have retired after that game. Just because that's the way to go out, just right on top. You win a championship, you play in your greatest basketball ever. That's what people are going to remember you as. But, I mean, to keep it real, Larry Bird has not played basketball in quite some motherfucking time. And as a basketball fan, trust me, we all still talk about you in a positive light. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a bad word about Larry Bird other than fuck you, Larry Bird, or you're a piece of shit, Larry Bird, or I want you to lose, Larry Bird, that kind of shit. But deep down inside, and this is coming from a diehard Lakers fan, we all respect the dude. He is one of the greatest to ever do it. And so I was happy to do a list on the top 5 greatest Larry Bird playoff moments of all time. So yeah, I think I'm actually going to kind of continue this selecting of players who had great playoff moments over the years. I don't know who I'm going to do next week, but I think I'm going to continue it until the NBA finals are over. I think that's a cool little thing to look up, especially for me, because, you know, it's always fun for me to actually go back and look at what these guys have done, especially some of these plays, and just to relive them, and also to watch watching the Celtics and the Detroit Pistons of the 80s go at it with each other. I mean, y'all don't even know. When you look at Draymond Green on the court, we all think that's a bad motherfucker. And trust me, Draymond Green is a bad motherfucker. I ain't saying he's a chump. Trust me, Draymond, you are a bad motherfucker. I ain't saying you ain't. But back in these days between the Pistons and the Celtics, and even just not just those two, there are many, many occasions where you look at the NBA back in the day and they would literally get in fist fights like it was the NHL hockey. So it was fun to actually watch the highlights of that Detroit Pistons and Celtics game, because they were going at it. It was great to watch. I love seeing defense like that. I love seeing motherfuckers just get in each other's faces and just get under their skin and just fuck with them in a playoff game. It's fun to watch, but we don't really get those moments anymore because the league has gone very, very soft. But still, I'm still watching, obviously, but it is fun to relive moments like that, especially. So there you have it, the top 5 Larry Bird playoff moments. Enjoy the rest of the weekend of sports, and I will talk to you fools on Monday.